welcome back to my channel. My name is Helen, and if you're new here, I love books, I love reading, and I will read anything under the sun, but especially romance and fantasy books. In today's video, I kind of wanted to do a I do want to read a 24-hour readathon. It is Saturday, so I'm going to take you through my weekend of what I normally do during the weekends. I know people are always like, how do you read so many books? Do you have a life? Honestly, yes. I choose not to leave my house, but I could if I wanted to. It is snowing so bad outside that I really don't want to go out there. There's nothing pleasing about how much snow is on the ground. The roads are awful, people don't know how to drive, and they haven't salted yet, so we're gonna stay inside and read all weekend. I like reading multiple books at once. It gets my gears going. Well, that's not true. If a book is really good, like if I am obsessed with it, I will focus just on that one, and that currently is The Priory of the Orange Tree. I know she is thick, but we're actually going through it pretty well. One thing I will say is that the size is really intimidating, but once you start reading it, it's really not that bad. I am actually on chapter 24 for this book. I am doing a tandem read, so I am listening to the audiobook and then annotating and following along on the book as well. That is so helpful with this book specifically. I don't do it very often, but one, I was intimidated by the size and I was like, I think audiobook is the way to go. But there are so many characters that if I was just listening to the audiobook by itself, I would not know who's who and I would not know what was going on. So let's go get my day started. It's been 2 hours since I started this readathon, so I just want to do a quick check-in. I made it to chapter 37 of The Priory of the Orange Tree, and things are getting intense. If you have not read this book, or you're wondering what the author could tell us with this much book, this thickness, thick, it's so thick. Thick one. If you don't know that TikTok, I'm sorry. It's really funny if you were to think about it. Anyways, moving on. I can see why this book is so thick because we follow so many different characters, and to explain to you what this book is about, we basically have two different countries. Like we have the east side and the west side of the world in this book, and basically the west side has dragons and they have dragons within their armies, and then we have the east side. So the east side is where the queen lies, and it's basically like this queendom where every queen has a daughter, and they believe that the queen being on the throne is what is keeping what they call like an evil dragon locked up. Now they are good dragons, so the good dragons are on the west side, but the east and the west have been at war for so long because the west worships dragons and the east don't worship dragons because they're always attacked by the evil dragon, because there is something there that draws the evil dragon there. Now there is, on the west side, there's also another country, another group of people that worship the evil one, like the evil dragon, and their job is to try to take out the queen on the east side so that the dragon can rise again, because he has been trapped. From what I believe, I think he's been trapped like in the ocean, but I'm not sure about that. But he's been trapped for a long time and they pretty much want him to surface again. But my favorite thing about this book is that we have good and bad dragons. Like it's literally a war against dragons with dragons. So much is happening. Like I'm trying to do this as spoiler free as I can, but there are so many different moving pieces, and even though there are a lot of characters, like all the characters are very important to the story because you get to follow them as they are on the east and as they're on the west. And right now I'm like, what about north and south? Like, are they gonna come into play? Because it's a very big world. I don't think it's just the east and the west hemisphere. Like, what about everything else? I don't know, just speculation right now. But this is a sapphic romance. I did not know this was a sapphic romance. I am literally eating that part up. Like there's two that I am shipping so hard. I need them to be together so badly, so badly. There's also a lot of different cultures that take place in this book. Like one of my favorite characters, I believe she is, from the art that I have seen, she is of darker skin tone. She looks like me, and I love that. She's literally my favorite character. She's a savage. But yeah, I am currently loving this book. I don't think I could put it down if I wanted to, and this is one that's been marinating on my shelves for like close to 2 years, so it was just about time that I read it, and I'm on a dragons kick right now. This is like my 5th dragon book that I read in the past week. Currently loving it. I am going to continue reading this and continuing cleaning my house, which is pretty much all I'm doing right now. I have made it to chapter 46. Almost done. I am loving this. Now, as you can tell, because I'm listening to the audiobook as I do things, I don't have any tabs here. So I'm going to sit down and do those now so I can tab all the important parts that have already happened. And I actually enjoy doing this a lot more because I can like write things on there that I now know looking back on it. I'm like, oh, this person, they did this, or like this happened because of this, or like something's going to happen here and this is how it was foreshadowed to do that. I'm still really enjoying the story. I got emotionally connected to one character specifically, and right now she is running for her life. I won't tell you who it is and I won't tell you any more than that, but she is running for her life, and she's like, to me it seems that this is the only character that actually knows what needs to be done to fight the evil one, and no one else is listening to her. It's like everybody is just worried about themselves, and if they would just come together, then they would be able to fight the evil one together. Since I don't want to spoil anything for you, I will keep you guys up there where you can't really read the words. And we just have my trusty pen, a highlighter, and then my sticky tabs. So we are going back to chapter 20. Okay, I'm all caught up with my tabs. That took me about an hour to do, maybe a little bit less, maybe like 45 minutes, but all the tabs are done up to the part where I have read. I just found this little bookmark that I got for my birthday and I decided to start using it. It's so cute, isn't it? It has an H on it. So yeah, I'm gonna start picking up from here. It is currently 5:27. So we are going to pick up from here and then go do some stuff and read. I finished Priory of the Orange Tree. I am amazed by the fact that I was able to finish it within this reading vlog, and we still have time to read more books. This is also the first time that I've sat down today. So I am now in my PJs. I have my comfort blanket, my comfort teddy. I love him. Even though he says no coffee, no worky, and I can't have coffee right now, but it's fine. Me and him are still best friends. For this book, I'm gonna give it a 4.5. You know, the only reason why it wasn't quite a 5 is because I did love the story. I love the characters. I liked how it kind of gives you the feeling of Game of Thrones because there's so many different kings and queens and they're sending messages to one another and everybody's trying to get on board to fight this evil one. But then when it came down to the battle, it was like it was 2 chapters and then the battle was over. That's what it felt like. Now it was much longer than that. There was a few more chapters than that, but it was very quick. And for something that we had been building up for a long time. Okay, the battle was like this much. This was the battle, and this was everything getting ready up to the battle. Because of that, I'm gonna give it honestly, I'm giving this a 4. I'm giving it a 4. It was just too much. This is all too much. There was a part where I almost cried though because of my favorite character and how much I loved her. Now that I have experienced the story, I'm like, it doesn't need to be that thick. Now, I wouldn't take anything out of the story. Everything that happened within the story was needed. All the traveling back and forth, all the characters having their own chapters. It just has really long chapters. And I feel like that's one of the main reasons why it looks so thick. But overall, it was a really good story. I think I'm gonna give it a 4. Really good book though. Will definitely recommend to read it. I also didn't finish my tabs on that because I just finished the book like 2 seconds ago. So I will probably do that before this reading vlog ends, or maybe after I do the reading vlog, just because I do need those tabs. And there are some things that I need to go back and highlight and annotate, so I will do that. With all of that being said, I am picking my next read, and I want to read on my Kindle because I'm going to be sitting in the dark in my living room. So I think I'm going to do one of these quick little novellas. They're also very quick, short, sweet, and I feel like that's what my brain needs after working so hard on the Priory of the Orange Tree. So I think I'm going to try The Christmas Blanket by Miss Candy Steiner. I absolutely love her style of writing. I will read this and then I should be back to check in with you guys in 2 hours. Hello! I am dying slowly but surely. I finished this. I mean, no surprise. It took me like an hour and 30 minutes to finish, and then the rest of the 30 minutes I spent doom scrolling TikTok to kind of stay awake. I ended up giving this book a 3-star, so it's a very fast read. I mean, it has like maybe less than 150 pages. This book follows Alyssa and River. So Alyssa and River used to date. They were like high school sweethearts. I mean, they pretty much like grew up together in this small town, but then Alyssa felt like the small town was suffocating her and she needed to go travel the world, and she wanted River to go with her, but River didn't want to go with her and he let her go. So then years later, specifically 10 years later, she comes back trying to surprise her family for the holidays, and on her way there is a snowstorm. So something happens, her car ends up like in a ditch somewhere, and it just happens that her car ends up in a ditch very close to River's house. His driveway was here and like she was in the ditch over here, very close to his house. So that yawn just made me lose my train of thought. Okay, got it. I got my train of thought back. Her car ends up being in a ditch right in front of his house. He helps her, brings her inside because he can't go anywhere. There's a snowstorm, and he's like, you're just gonna have to spend Christmas Eve with me and Christmas Day, and then eventually once the snowstorm stops, then we'll get you back home to your parents. So no one knew that she was there, and they had to just kind of like rehash their feelings as to what happened when they separated, and then she found out the real reason why he let her go, yada 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 yada. So it wasn't really that moving, and maybe it's because with Candy Steiner books, I just love when she puts me through like emotional turmoil, and because this one was so short, we didn't really have the time to do that. It was kind of like wham bam, thank you Sam. You guys, I am really exhausted. Like, I'm so tired. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to survive. Maybe I'll take like a little cat nap. I don't know. Being awake hurts right now. I think I need not another novella. I need something that like keeps me intrigued, like a book that I want to stay up for, you know? So I am gonna go raid my TBR cart and find a book from there. Okay, so we have 3 potential options. So I have the 7-Year Slip. I heard this has like a traveling apartment, and I love books with like time traveling and going across countries. Those are some of my favorites. Then I also grabbed Blood Over Bright Haven. This one is extremely dark, and I feel like because of how impactful it is, it could keep my attention. And then Blood of Hercules. Someone said this is a White Shoes romantasy. I don't know how true that is, but like, she's supposed to be Hercules. How entertaining do we think that's gonna be? Probably not entertaining enough to keep me awake. I know I am already gonna like Blood Over Bright Haven because I did start that one. So I'm going to give the 7-Year Slip a go. We'll see how I'm doing with this. If I'm not vibing with it within the first 30 minutes, you know, you have 30 minutes? 30, yes. If I'm not vibing with it within the first 30 minutes, then I will switch over to Blood Over Bright Haven. 3rd book, let's go. So I did try reading this last night, and then I fell asleep. Like, not even a chapter in. My brain said, we're not doing this, and I literally just woke up like 20 minutes ago. It's 9 a.m. So we could say I took a little cat nap, even though it was 8 hours long. That's still a cat nap, right? We can say so. But then I really thought about it, and I said I was genuinely going to take you guys through what I would read in 24 hours to show you how I normally read. And then I said, why am I keeping myself up? I'm just going to bed. And I wake up in the morning and finish my 24 hours. So I did pause my timer. I paused it at 10 hours, 10 minutes, my brain. 10 hours, we have 10 hours and 33 minutes left, and I just started playing it again. So we can actually go ahead and finish this. And what I am going to do is, first of all, I'm going to annotate Priory of the Orange Tree because we need to finish those for the last quarter of the book that I did finish yesterday, and just get that done. And then we're gonna start the 7-year slip because I did hear really good things about this book. And like I said, it has a traveling apartment and she meets the love of her life at the apartment that travels because someone's like stuck there. Sounds amazing and right up my alley. So we're gonna do this one and I am gonna annotate this as well. I'm really excited to read this book, honestly. I've heard nothing but good things. Why am I going with the color yellow? Anybody realize that? Is it just me? We're gonna keep it going. Hopefully by this night we can finish it because I have work tomorrow, so there's no way I can stay up late tonight. I gotta be up at like 5 a.m. tomorrow. And we unlocked a new location. This is my bedroom. I will be in bed all day today. Maybe not. Okay, I will go now. I will go read. Bye-bye. Hello! It's been 2 hours too long. I actually did start the 7-year slip and this book is extremely hilarious. I'm only like 40 pages in, but it's got me hooked. I knew that the traveling apartment was gonna do it for me, but I didn't know I was gonna be hooked from the very beginning. It's really funny. Is this a rom-com? I feel like this has to be a rom-com because it's giving me rom-com feelings. Oh, this is the same author that wrote The Dead Romantics. I had no idea. Maybe I'll read that book. We'll see how it goes with this one. I did do my tabs. Now I ran out of tabs and I don't feel like getting some new ones right now. So this is as far as we got. We still have like this much to finish, which I will do. I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. But yeah, I am really loving this book. I'm gonna go back. I can't really tell you much about it because I just started it. So like there's not much for me to tell you. I don't even know what's really going on except for a magical apartment. That's all I got for you so far. So I'm gonna go back to reading this and then I will check back in with you guys in 2 hours. I have made it to chapter 28. I am literally sprinting through this book. I don't think I have had this cozy feeling since I read Out on a Limb by Hannah Bottom Young. This is amazing. We basically have two strangers that are they share a time space. So they share an apartment and the apartment takes you back in time. The two people are separated 7 years. So the person that is in the present time, which is Clementine, she can go back 7 years, stay at her present time. And then the person in the past, they can't time travel. So she's the only one that's time traveling between going in the past and coming in the present. And the thing is that when she walks out of the apartment, she doesn't know if she's going to be in the present time or if she's going to be 7 years in the past and she's going to see Iwan. And I am dying for the moments they spent together at the apartment, because when she goes back to her present time, she can't see Iwan and she gets so sad because he's not there. And she's also dealing with the loss of like her aunt, which was the one that owed the magical apartment. So she left it to her because they would do like all these traveling together when she was younger, and so she was really close with her aunt. So she's also grieving the loss of her aunt, and then she just met this random person, Iwan, a stranger, because of her aunt's apartment, and she is just, oh my god. I love this book so freaking much. I love the concept of the story. I think that's what I'm eating it up so much, because Lemon, and Iwan named her Lemon. Like Clementine, but Lemon. It's such a cute nickname. Like, it shouldn't be so cute, but honestly, it really is. Yeah, I think I'm gonna finish this probably within like the next 30 minutes. I'm devouring this book. It's so short and sweet, and like I said, I don't think I've felt this good and like happy about reading a book. Well, actually, it's kind of depressing. It is kind of depressing. So maybe I shouldn't feel so happy because of what happened to her aunt. I was like, ooh, because one of the rules of the apartment is like, don't fall in love in the apartment. She's falling in love in the apartment. If this is on your TBR list for the year of 2025, please pick it up. I'm not even done with it yet, and I already know it's gonna be pretty good. I'm kind of scared for the ending. I'm hoping that they end up together, but we'll see. Fingers crossed. I'm gonna get back to my book now. I just finished The 7-Year Slip. This book was so cozy. It made me so happy but so sad at the exact same time. I don't know why I waited so long to read it. This was a 5-star. Without question, if I could give it 7 stars, I would. This reads like a love letter to grief or to someone that is dealing with grief. It just lets you know that you're not alone when you lose a loved one, or like how to recover from the loss of a loved one. I loved everything about this. The characters were perfect. The characters' growth was beautiful to see. The way that the storylines intertwined with the two characters and the traveling apartment. Oh, this was so good. It made me so happy. Like, it made me happy, but I was sad at the same time. How can you make me happy and sad? I honestly don't know what I'm going to read next because we have like 3 hours and 56 minutes left, so just 4 hours left. I don't really think I'm gonna be able to finish an actual book at that time. I don't want to do a novella because I feel like that's cheating. I don't know what I'm gonna read. I'm probably gonna waste time thinking about what am I gonna read next. What am I going to attempt to read? So I do have Whiskey Business, but I don't want to read that. I'm also in the middle of reading Dragonfall. I don't want to read that either. I am reading The Nightingale, and that book is so long. I don't want to read that either. Hear me out, okay? I just finally got my hands on the book Protect Me, which I have been waiting for. Oh no, book 1 is called Fight by Sloane St. James. And I have been salivating at the mouth to get my hands on this book. It just released not that long ago. It's a firefighter romance. I will go get some lunch now, and I will pass you guys along to future Helen, who will give us our second to last check-in. Because if we do 2 hours from now, then we'll have an hour 45. No, that's not right. I don't know. I'll see you guys in 2 hours. That's all I got. We did it. We did it. We did it. More again. Insert Dora. This has got to be one of the longest reading vlogs I have done. Just reading 24 hours consecutively and filming it is a lot of work, even if I did take a nap in between. I ended up reading 3 books. I did try reading Blood Over Brighthaven, and I was falling asleep because I am so tired. I just want to go to sleep. Even though it's like 8 p.m., it's really not that late. Priory of the Orange Tree almost took me out, fam. It almost killed me. That is a very long book. And even though I will say it's not as bad once you get into it and you start reading it, because like I said, the margins are just really freaking big. It goes by very quickly. I am glad that I read it, so it's finally off my shelves, and I ended up giving this a 4 out of 5 stars. I was doing this as a buddy read with my friend Maria, and I kind of felt bad because I left her in the dust and I finished it within 2 days. But we were talking about it and we said how much it reminds us of Game of Thrones. And I thought that is the perfect way to describe this book. Except for the sapphic romance. I don't think, now that I remember, and I've watched Game of Thrones a few times, I don't think there was any female on female relationships on Game of Thrones. Don't think so. So that may be the only difference. For example, in Game of Thrones, we have winter is coming, and like that's the slogan, that's the saying that everybody's saying. We have all of these different kingdoms that are preparing for winter to come, and when winter comes, the evil one's coming. And in this book, we have the evil one's going to rise. I actually really enjoyed this book. I liked it a lot. I'm glad that I finally read it, so it's not just sitting on my shelves looking at me and judging me every second of the day. I have way more that are sitting there judging me. Then I read The Christmas Blanket, and this was very short, sweet. I literally read this so I wouldn't fall asleep, and then I still ended up falling asleep afterwards. So did it do its job very well? No, but it was a very quick read. I read this in less than 2 hours. And then last but not least, we have The 7-Year Slip. This is a 5-star read. This is a gem. This is a masterpiece. I was so happy. And I read this so fast. I love books where I just binge read them. Like, I literally just sat in my bed all day today and read this book. That's literally all I did. This was a really fun concept to read. A traveling apartment. And with the little bit of time I had left, I will keep it 100 with you. I tried reading Blood Over Brighthaven. No, I tried reading Protect. I literally read one sentence and I said, you know, I have to catch up on this challenge because I haven't watched TV all weekend. So, which most weekends I don't, it kind of just ranges. So I watched the last episode of season 40 and I really didn't think it was going to end that way. I won't say who the winners were. And if you don't watch the challenge, and you watch reality television, you are missing out. The Challenge is one of the most competitive shows out there. Like the things they have to do for $1 million, wild. I could never. I would probably die. So I just like watching it instead. It's very entertaining. I don't watch television a lot. I do mostly read more than I watch television. So that's why I wanted to take you guys through an organic 24 hours of what I would be reading during a 24 period during the weekend if I had nothing to do, which I had nothing to do this weekend, and it was fabulous to stay home and read, to be very honest with you. This is my favorite way to spend my weekends. But yeah, this is what I genuinely would read in 24 hours. So as you see, we have a very thick book, a medium-sized book, and a very small one. This is why I tell people when they're like, how many books do you read on average? Don't think I am reading 800 pages. Like, I could not do 3 of these books in 24 hours. Absolutely not. What do I look like? Einstein? Now, if you gave me these, if you gave me like 7 of these, within 24 hours, done. Or even like 3 of these, done. No questions asked. But 800, you cray cray. I hope that was entertaining. I know it was definitely entertaining for me. It was fun to do, and I may do it again in the future. Maybe I'll try to stay awake the whole 24 hours, but I'm not a very nice person when I'm tired, so that's why I didn't do that this time. And it also didn't go with the whole organic thing, you know. I didn't want to speed read. Yes, I will stop rambling now. And I want to thank you for watching my video and supporting my channel. And I hope you have a fabulous day or night or evening, wherever you are in the world watching this, and whatever time zone it currently is. Time zone? Time of day. Time of day. Bye for now.